The confirmed number of coronavirus cases in Los Angeles County comes to 1,204,018. The confirmed number of deaths reaches 22,041. Here in Torrance, the total number of confirmed cases is 6,826, with total confirmed deaths at 179. We anticipate the Torrance numbers to increase as the county updates its last 24-hour operating period. Welcome to COVID-19 Today. I'm Leslie Robbins. It's 4 p.m. on Monday, March 8th. Millions of Americans continue to get vaccinated against COVID-19 each day. Since the vaccine distribution began on December 14th, more than 90 million doses have been administered, reaching close to 18% of the total U.S. population. Now, according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the U.S. is giving more than 2.2 million shots per day. Of those 90 million doses, California received more than 10 million of them. Now, states receive weekly allocations from the federal government based on their total adult population. The federal government has also sent large shipments directly to retail pharmacies and community health centers as well. With 3 vaccines authorized for emergency use, getting millions vaccinated in order of priority has been a logistical challenge for many states. And while the speed of getting these vaccines into states and counties has been difficult, it has improved significantly each week. The CDC says the figures they've reported may represent a reporting lag of up to 5 days. Well, the CDC released new guidelines for those who've been fully vaccinated. During a press briefing this morning, CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky said, with more and more people vaccinated each day, we are starting to turn a corner. The new guidance offers some return to normalcy in how people can come together if they have been fully inoculated. While the CDC continues to recommend that fully vaccinated people should still wear their face masks, avoid large gatherings, and physically distance themselves from others when out in public, they are approved to gather in small groups indoors without masks or social distancing among people who have all been vaccinated, as the level of risk of infection is considered low. Those fully vaccinated also won't have to quarantine or test for COVID-19 following a known exposure if they are asymptomatic. They can also visit with unvaccinated people indoors from a single household who are a low risk for severe infection without wearing a mask or physical distancing. The CDC did not change its recommendations on travel, which discourages it if it's unnecessary and calls for getting tested for COVID-19 within a few days of the trip and quarantining upon returning from a trip. The new guidance was released to address the growing demand as more people get vaccinated, and officials encourage everyone to opt in and get the vaccine when it becomes available to the general public, no matter which vaccine brand is available at the time. You can read the full recommendations online at cdc.gov. Well, good news for Los Angeles County as they are set to receive its largest shipment of shots to date. In today's press conference, county officials shared optimism as more Angelenos will be able to get the vaccine, as the region is expected to receive 313,000 doses this week, with 62% of those going to first doses. Last week, 280,000 doses were administered, still far below what the county has the capacity for. Among the shipment of doses arriving this week, more than 53,000 will include the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which of course is a single dose shot. Health officials say the number of doses should increase significantly in April. Now, today, tomorrow, and Thursday, the county-run megapods will be dedicated for food and agriculture workers. Then on Wednesday and Friday, those who are 65 and older will have priority for vaccines. And then Saturday will be designated for early child care and education workers. The county's 7-day case rates have also returned to pre-surge levels. The number of hospitalizations and deaths also continue to decline. Updates were also shared on the county's guidelines for reopening schools, as well as eligibility expansion for the vaccine. 58% of LA County residents 65 and older have received their first vaccine, with 30% having received both doses. Now, as families get ready to celebrate springtime holidays like Passover, Easter, and spring break vacations, the county's public health director, Dr. Barbara Ferrer, urged against gathering with those outside the household, avoid traveling if at all possible, and to avoid another surge like the one seen over the Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays. The city of Los Angeles is ramping up first dose vaccination appointments this week. Officials say 88,000 shots will be made available across 7 permanent vaccine locations and 8 mobile clinics. Last week, Los Angeles surpassed 500,000 doses administered at city-run sites, and this week's expected supply will be able to support those sites and offer nearly 68,000 first-dose vaccines, along with 20,000 second-dose appointments. The shipments include 54,000 doses of the Moderna vaccine and 25,000 from Johnson & Johnson. The city-run vaccination sites include San Fernando Park, Hanson Dam, Crenshaw Christian Center, Lincoln Park, Pierce College, USC University Park, and Dodger Stadium. City sites will offer second-dose appointments for those who receive their first dose at a city site between February 8th and 15th. An additional 7,000 doses from Pfizer will also be administered through the city's Mobile Outreach for Vaccine Equity Program, or MOVE, to ensure equitable distribution in hard-to-reach communities. Officials say through the MOVE program, already more than 16,000 doses have been administered, with 90% of those vaccinated among people of color. First-stage testing of an experimental drug to treat COVID-19 positive patients is showing promising signs. The at-home 5-day treatment is called Molnupiravir, and it's made by Merck and Ridgeback Biotherapeutics. Officials say it's showing effectiveness in reducing the virus in patients, much like how Tamiflu works to contain the flu virus from getting worse. The phase 2A trial of the drug included 202 non-hospitalized adults who had signs or symptoms of COVID-19 within 7 days and had a confirmed SARS-CoV-2 infection. Researchers discovered that the new antiviral drug was able to suppress the virus within 24 hours, and by day 5, there was a reduction in positive viral cultures in participants. Of the 202 treated participants, there were no reports of drug-related side effects. Now, officials say the therapeutic could become available in as little as 4 to 5 months if the next trials continue to be as successful. California Governor Gavin Newsom was in Tulare County to give updates on the state's response to the COVID-19 pandemic and the state's latest vaccination efforts. Newsom proudly announced that California has administered more COVID vaccines than any other state in the U.S., thanks to the aggressive efforts by each county's public health department. The governor also shared his concerns of the state's vaccination efforts not being equitable, which is why 40% has now been designated for underserved communities under the equity framework. That's nearly 8 million people who will be eligible for the vaccine before the general public. The governor also shared that as the state works to get children back in the classroom, So far, 224,000 people working in the education sector have received the vaccine as well. Now, as more Californians get vaccinated, the requirements to move tiers within the state's color-coded reopening system for the economy will begin to loosen as well. The governor is expected to give his State of the State address tomorrow and teased it as an optimistic address to highlight the quiet heroes of the pandemic and will likely not be the typical speech given on state policies. Theme parks are inching closer to welcoming back guests, even if it may be at a limited capacity. The California Department of Public Health released new guidance saying outdoor ballparks, stadiums, as well as theme parks can reopen with significantly reduced capacity, mandatory mask wearing, as well as other public health precautions. According to the state's blueprint for a safer economy, for outdoor sports and live concerts, under the purple tier, capacity will be limited to 200 people or less, and only people from the region will be allowed. Reservations will be required in advance, and no concessions will be sold. Then, as the county moves into the red tier, capacity will be limited to 20%. Concessions will be allowed, but while seated, and in-state visitors will only be allowed. Now, for theme parks, the county must move into the red tier before 15% of the allowed capacity can be welcomed back, and only in-state visitors allowed. This means Disneyland, Universal Studios, Knott's Berry Farm, and Magic Mountain could reopen as early as April 1st under the new guidelines. California is looking for volunteers to help in the vaccination effort, and it's as easy as going online to sign up. Whether you can help as a medical professional or would like to offer general support, California's Department of Public Health is looking for individuals that can offer a few hours of assistance. General support volunteers could be a greeter, help with registration, or manage other volunteers. You can go online and submit your first and last name, zip code, and contact information to find various volunteer opportunities. State officials say new locations will regularly pop up as they continue to add vaccination sites around California. You can also sign up for notifications to get an alert when a volunteer post opens near you. Go to myturnvolunteer.ca.gov. Torrance Unified School District welcomed back 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade students to campus this morning for in-person learning. So far, already 300 teachers and staff have received their COVID-19 vaccines thanks to the coordination of Torrance City staff, Torrance Fire Department, and Emergency Services as they helped to make it a seamless and efficient process last week. Torrance Unified is one of the largest school districts in the county that is now open for in-person learning. This is thanks to the support and collaboration from the Board of Education, teachers, staff, administrators, and of course, students and parents. TUSD is working towards reopening classrooms for blended in-person instruction for grades 6 through 12 later this month, if the county is able to move into the less restricted red tier. Be sure to stay connected and check the district's website regularly for any updates. Today marks International Women's Day as many celebrate the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women. In honor of this day, the California Museum invited first partner Jennifer Siebel Newsom to host a conversation with the state's first African-American Secretary of State, Dr. Shirley Weber, and esteemed author Anna Maleka Tubbs to discuss the role of motherhood in society and social movements. Both of the women are highlighted in the California Museum's signature exhibit, Women Inspire California, Women Changing Our World. The conversation included the significant role mothers and women play in society, in the workplace, and even during the pandemic. The free virtual event was live streamed and recorded. You can watch it online anytime at californiamuseum.org. Well, before we go, at the end of each program, we like to share stories from our community. Feel-good pictures, images, and videos that remind us of how resilient our community is and how Torrance truly cares. Torrance Little League members took part in an annual cleanup event ahead of their season opener as parents and kids picked up debris and trash left alongside the road near the baseball fields in the east side of Torrance. What a great way to show how the community cares for its parks and fields, and a great effort to keep the community looking beautiful. Now, if you have a great story, upcoming event, a photo or video you'd like to share, email us at covid19today@torranceca.gov. We'd love to hear from you. Well, that is our update for COVID-19 Today. We'll see you here tomorrow as Rhiannon Shutanis brings you the latest. Please be safe, stay healthy, and thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.